Hey guys, Serf here with Orange County Choppers Roadhouse and Museum. I'm standing here with Keith Overton, owner of Orange County Choppers Roadhouse and Museum. And the coolest thing about what we're doing here is we're gonna actually put an museum into it. And part of that museum is going to be all of these motorcycles. Keith, tell me about the motorcycles and what role they're gonna play in the museum.
Well, you know, Paul's got 12 of his bikes. Most of these, many of them anyway, were filmed on an actual episode of American Chopper. And so the idea here is that we want to really archive and chronicle all of those episodes that occurred. So every bike is going to be positioned strategically in the restaurant. We're going to have, you know, custom-made center stands to hold them up upright and straight. Several of them are going to be on about a 4-foot wall, so we're going to need to lift them up, stretch them out, get the wheels together. One of them is going to be 8 feet up. A couple of them are going to be, you know, on shop racks. Paul really wants it to look like it was his real shop. He's actually going to give us one of his old racks, and we're going to strap it down and put it in the middle of the restaurant. But basically, we've got to go through and customize where each of these are going to be positioned, and then it's going to be your job to come through and put a video monitor beside each bike, so we can actually have the episode that bike was built on showing, and so people that walk through can get an idea of what it took to build each bike that you see here. And these are the originals. So this will be the mothership store of hopefully many OCC Roadhouses, and what we're going to end up with here is the original stuff that came from Paul's life over the last 2 decades. And a lot of that will then be replicated and then put into additional stores that we license, you know, around Florida and around the country, hopefully. But this is really the mothership, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And, you know, Paul and I are just going to have to sit in the restaurant one day and go, okay, that's going to go there, that's going to go there, that doesn't fit there, maybe we can put it over here. But there's a story behind every one of these bikes, and, you know, Paul remembers them like they were yesterday, so it's going to be fun to sit with him and, you know, really show off what he's built over the last 2 decades. So we're pretty excited about it.
One of the things that I've talked about before is that these bikes are so cool in person because there are so many tactile experiences when you actually like touch the metal and feel. I mean, they look really cool on camera, but when you actually get into the detail, there's some really cool stuff on every one of these bikes. And so I think everybody's going to be really excited to actually be able to see them in person instead of having it behind some glass or behind you know, a wall. They're actually going to be able to see them, and you know, some of them they'll actually be able to touch and feel and kind of check things out.
Yeah.
So as far as photo ops and stuff, are we going to have some stuff?
Yeah, oh, for sure. A lot of these bikes you'll be able to sit on. The other cool thing that we're doing is for the grand opening, we're going to build a flamethrower bike. We have one here, but getting that one, the biker build-off bike, in and out of the restaurant every day with skid steer tracks on it, it's going to be kind of hard. But so what we're going to do is we're going to build a flamethrower bike, and every day at happy hour, 5 o'clock, all the local business community is going to be invited over, and we're going to pull that bad boy out and throw a 20-foot flame every single day, give people a show, and then, you know, let them go in and drink during happy hour. So we think that'll be a bike that people will be able to sit on and get their picture taken with. And there's a lot of these that they'll be this close to anybody in the restaurant that wants to walk up and have a photo taken with it. So it's a really cool opportunity for people to get intimate with the OCC legacy.
So they're not going to be just on display. It's going to be kind of an immersive experience when they come to the restaurant. It'll be like they're sitting in Paul's shop having dinner.
Yeah, exactly. And what's even really more impressive is Paul texts me 3 or 4 or 5 times a day with stuff that he's found, just shit that he's found from back in the day. And I mean, I could go through the list of pictures of all the memorabilia and the cool things that he's got. I mean, he built a bike with Stallone, a bike with Trump. He's built a bike with virtually every celebrity. Bill Murray. I mean, he's been featured on Rockstar videos. You know, everybody and anybody has been part of that show, and he's just got it all archived in great photography, great videos.
I think that with the fire bike and the traditions that we've started, it's going to be great to carry those on. But you kind of touched on something that I think is going to be a lot of fun moving forward, and that's we're going to keep building bikes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And so I mean, that first one, one of the first ones that we're going to do, I don't know if it's going to end up being called the grand opening bike or the happy hour bike or whatever. Yeah. I mean, there's some great ideas there. The flamethrower, I could see some sirens on it or something cool, just to make a spectacle out of happy hour. Yeah. What else do you think we're going to build?
Well, I mean, look, Paul's still going to continue to do TV. You know, the future of the show is Still a little bit uncertain, but I think we're going to end up being somewhere on a network. If it's not Discovery, it'll be through an online network, or it'll be through some other TV network. But the bottom line is, Paul's not done building bikes, and it may be now that we partner with other builders even. Paul has really stuck to the chopper theme over his career, but he's expressed a huge interest in doing baggers, for example, and maybe even doing some race bikes and some street bikes and some dirt bikes. I mean, he's really open to partnering with a lot of other guys that have maybe sanctioned builds that want the OCC influence in them. And then Paul can collaborate with those builders. We can bring them here, we can go there, put the bike together. And he's also going to have a list of corporate people that still want him to build a bike for them. And we've got a great place to build it here. The shop's obviously in its embryonic stages. There's shit everywhere right now. We got to get it all cleaned out, get all the equipment in here. We've got a truck coming. I think it's stuck in a snowstorm up in New York right now. But this week it'll be here, and we'll morph this into a really cool shop that we can film in, and Paul can build bikes in, and we can bring in other builders as well, as I mentioned, to collaborate on cool builds. I know right here on site, we're on the campus of Burt's Barracuda Harley Davidson. It's one of the largest dealerships in the Tampa Bay area, and we're really proud to be part of the campus with these guys. And they have a huge desire to partner with Paul on a lot of concepts. So it may be that we're going to do Harley modifications, we'll do some OCC paint jobs that go on to Harley aftermarket parts kind of thing. There's a lot of stuff that Paul's going to be involved in, but really what's most cool to me is that Paul's going to be accessible to the community here. He lives here, this is his backyard now, and he'll be working here almost every day, so he's going to be out walking around the restaurant saying hello to folks. So it wouldn't be surprised me if you show up here on a regular basis and Paul comes by and hits you on the shoulder and asks you how your meal is, or you might find him back in the kitchen cooking fish with the chef, which is his favorite thing to do. So I think it's going to be a really cool experience. It's going to be very immersive. One of the themes that we're going to put in the restaurant is our chairs are going to be themed around many of Paul's marquee kind of the sword, the dagger, the web design. So our backrests on our bar stools are actually going to be sissy bars and positioned like a seat.
Like a sissy bar like this one?
Yeah, exactly. And so every seat, they'll be custom built. And at the bar itself, we're going to actually have some fixed seats to where we have a step-up seat on the corners of the bar. So if you're here with your girlfriend or your wife, you can sit in the front, she can sit in the back. We'll have an armrest there for a drink rail. And basically, you got a cool picture opportunity where you're actually sitting on a motorcycle seat at a bar having a cocktail. And so there's all kinds of cool little nuances like that. In the bathrooms, we're going to have gas tanks that are going to be themed as sinks. So they'll be on top of a counter, and then the sink will be recessed into the gas tank, handlebars for faucets, and we're really going all out here to make every little detail of this facility come alive. I mean, $6.5 million later, not including the cost of all the bikes and the memorabilia and all that, it's going to be a one-of-a-kind place.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool. Guys, I'm really excited. This is going to be awesome. Orange County Choppers Roadhouse and Museum coming spring 2021 in Pinellas County, Florida.